my name is Joseph Delaplan. I'm Chief Investment Officer of Nomad Royalty Company, and very happy to be talking about our recent transaction on the Plat Reef mine in South Africa with you today. Before going into Plat Reef, perhaps just to quickly reintroduce Nomad to those of you that are perhaps less familiar. Nomad is a new royalty company that listed in May of 2020. Our team is a highly experienced team, previously with Osisko Gold Royalties, and we've come back into the royalty space late last year in this latest venture, and we've been hitting the ground running. Over the last 18 months, we've executed on our strategy of taking an initial portfolio that we acquired from Orion Mine Finance, as well as one from Yamana Gold, and growing that through 7 transactions that we've completed over the last 18 months. And we've been able to do that because our portfolio is very unique in that it has a lot of cash flow already within the business. And what it has allowed us to do is to borrow in order to fund new transactions and continue to grow the company. Importantly, this year, we've announced 3 major transactions and deployed over $220 million into these transactions that have really allowed us to grow the business and put us on the map in terms of the overall royalty and streaming space. One of those transactions was on the Caserones mine in Chile to acquire a copper royalty. Another one, a $95 million gold stream on the Greenstone mine in Ontario. And our latest acquisition, a $75 million gold stream on Plat Reef, a mine owned by Ivanhoe and located in South Africa. These transactions are very significant because they demonstrate our team's experience in the streaming space, which is definitely an area that sets us apart from some of our smaller peers. But it also represents Greenstone and Plat Reef represent 2 very high quality assets that we now have brought into our portfolio. These are transactions that are highly sought after, that are hard to structure, and that typically you see done by some of our larger peers. But we've been punching above our weight, and that is demonstrated by these last 2 transactions. So I'll go and speak about Plat Reef. Plat Reef is an amazing deposit. It's located in the Bushveld complex of South Africa in the Limpopo province. It's a mine that's owned by Ivan Plats. Ivan Plats is 64% owned by Ivanhoe, as well as 10% owned by Itochu, and with a 26% ownership by the BE partners. It's a very unique deposit, certainly globally, but also within South Africa. Because it's a flat-lying reef, 26 meters wide in dimensions. And it makes this a very rich and very easy to mine deposit. I had the pleasure of visiting the mine just about a month ago. It's a very impressive operation. We call it a development project, but actually Ivanhoe is going ahead with full-on construction of this mine. They already have 1 shaft completely sunk. They're working on the 2nd shaft. And we expect them to start producing in 2024. And we were able to fund them along with Orion on a $300 million streaming facility, $75 million of which is done by Nomad to acquire a gold stream on this asset. And with that funding, Ivanhoe can now continue and start the first phase of what will be the first of 3 phases for this mine. The reason that we stream the gold on this asset, gold is a byproduct. It's a primary PGM mine. It's a very rich deposit. It's probably one of the largest undeveloped PGM deposits in the world. One of the lowest costs once up and running. They'll be producing at below $500 an ounce, making it very profitable and making this a very important asset for Ivanhoe, which is great for Nomad and for our shareholders in the long run. The gold at this asset will be mined at the same time as the PGMs. So in 2024, when they start up the first phase, we will begin receiving deliveries under this first phase of development as they continue towards a larger expansion, going from 700,000 tons per annum to 5.2 million tons per annum by 2030. So what that means is initially we'll be receiving lower deliveries, about 2,500 ounces per annum to Nomad. Ultimately, that'll ramp up to about 12,000 ounces per annum to Nomad. And so while the payback on our capital will be a little bit slower through phase 1, when that second phase kicks in, by 2030, we'll begin receiving very significant deliveries within our portfolio. And there's also talks about a further expansion to 12 million tons per annum in the long run. That's currently under study. It's not currently forecasted, but definitely once this mine is up and running and generating significant profit, one thing that we typically see with these operations is the operators want to mine them faster, and then so they do carry on with these expansions. This asset is a world-class asset. It's operated by a tier 1 operator, and with a $75 million gold stream on it, we've now acquired one of the most unique streams in the royalty space, certainly one of the better transactions in 2021. And again, it just shows that we are executing on our growth trajectory. We started 18 months ago with a small portfolio. We've now added very major assets to our portfolio, and this is not the end. We're going to continue to grow the business. We are backed by one of the largest private equity funds in the mining space, Orion Mine Finance. We're continuing to work with them. As we've shown with the Greenstone and Plat Reef transactions, they're bringing us very high quality deals, and they're one of the best partners to have in the mining space. So lots to look forward to, and ultimately every move that we make is aimed at growing per share metrics, delivering that per share value to our shareholders. And with these transactions, we've shown that we're well on our way.